I just said okay, bet.
What are you, a young child? Okay, bet. You are in your 20s now. We can't be speaking like that anymore, okay? We're old people. You can't just, okay, bet. Oh, you're gonna talk skibbity whiz? Like what are we...
Ohio.
What are we doing there? Ohio, yeah. Ohio.
Swag like Ohio.
That is the start of the podcast. You better put that as the start of the podcast. Take everything out of context. No, that's what we need to do.
Swag like Ohio. Swag like
Ohio. So this is why you shouldn't do drugs, guys. We're doing a drugs PSA. We're going back to the addictions first episode.
So, welcome back to Figuring It Out. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a minute.
It's been months, actually. But we're back.
No fault of my own, of course. Yes, we're back. We're back.
What did you say?
What? No, we're back. Keep it there, Joe, of course. What are you talking about?
If you don't know me, and this is your first time tuning in, I'm Kaycee Timmons, and I'm joined by my good friend...
Jason Chip.
Yes. And today, we honestly don't really know what we're going to talk about. Because...
Well, we do later, but right now this is kind of introduction back and saying we're back, you know? We didn't die, we didn't go, we're alive. Kaycee, I don't know what Kaycee was up to, but we're going to get into that. That's the fun part. We're getting live reaction, studio live performances. But yeah, we're going to get a whole reaction of kind of what we've done and how we've done it. So, I mean, Kaycee, you can take it away if you want to start first, obviously, and I'll chime in whenever, of course, like we do as we usually do. We're kind of just no platform, no script. So we tried to script, and it went horribly. We both know that. We cannot stay on script. For God's sake, we can't.
We actually can't. I try so hard to structure things, and I need to realize that it's better to let loose.
That's true. Anyway, so let's keep going.
Anyways, we're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
The last 3 months, I'm gonna be honest, I disappeared. Not like fully off the face of the earth, because people in my physical reality have seen me the last 3 months because I've been working.
Really? Everyone in your physical reality has been?
In my physical reality, you're like further away from me, Jason.
I'm still in your physical reality, Kaycee. I got feelings.
I suppose that's actually true. Sorry, I apologize. But yeah, I've basically just been working and getting my money up and trying to maintain my financial status, which I've actually been doing a very good job at, and I'm proud of that.
Damn.
Because I've struggled with money a lot of my life, because obviously, if you listen to the first episode, you know that I have a shopping addiction. I've since then,
We're so new to this. Give us a break. Oh my God. It's so awkward for us right now because we don't know what to do at this point.
No, literally. But yeah, I've since then fixed that. Like, I'm not... Obviously, like, I still scroll on my phone and put stuff in my cart, but I don't buy it. And most times, I go back through and I delete it. So I think that's improvement.
But you did buy that white hood finally, which is kind of cool. You could bring that up later in your closet. You can definitely bring that up later as we continue on. That was really cool to learn about, that you joined the group.
No!
He's on! We're back!
No!
Everyone comment on our videos. Hashtag cancel Kaycee!
Jason's already back with the frigging cancel culture stuff. So, you know that we're back when Jason comes back with, let's cancel Kaycee! So...
And you were like, let's cancel Jason for one episode. And nobody was like crickets, basically. Just crickets. Little small violin for you, you know? Can't cancel me. I'm already canceled. I've been canceled back in 2016.
I see. To be fair, I got canceled a while ago, so I don't think...
That's true. That's very true. Well, Kaycee, let me ask you something. As both cancelable people,
okay.
As we're canceled, I want to ask you questions about your life, questions that maybe the viewers have and I have, and you just answer them. So the first question I wanted to ask you for so long, so let's break it up in categories and time zones of, you were struggling with your father last we heard, correct? Remember that?
Yes, I believe it was.
Of course you remember that. What am I talking about? Do you remember the trauma? Do you remember your life?
You remember what you went through, like your whole life?
Do you remember you had a father? Do you remember that? She did fall down the stairs one time, though, so you never know what could have happened to her. Could have shook some things up on her.
I actually don't know if I got concussed from that or not.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. But that's another story for another time. But back on topic, because we're horrible at it. And I don't care. It's fun. I wanted to ask you a question. First question I wanted to ask you was, how is that relationship with your father? And before you answer that, let's go back to a conversation we had prior, the last conversation we actually had with each other, where we were also very in tough positions. I mean, at this point, I was working, so I was doing a little better with myself. Since lost that job, got let go of that job one day before the end of probation. Shout out to that job, you friggin' numbskulls. But I have a much better opportunity, and I'll get to that with my story. But with you, why don't you go over break it down with the conversation we had and kind of what was said and your perspective on it. And then, I can chime in whenever, of course. But, I mean, I would like to hear what you thought about it and how it changed your perspective and what occurred after. Because I'm in the dark and so are the viewers. So I'd love to get a first live reaction of what happened after our conversation.
So basically, me and Jason just sat down and we were having this conversation about how we were feeling, and I was giving him advice, and he kind of just looked at me and he said, I'm gonna do a thing, okay? I'm gonna let something speak over me, and you listen to what I'm saying, and you can do whatever you want with it, but just listen to what I have to say. And I sat there, and he said something along the lines of, I'm the reason why the relationship wasn't working out, which I already kind of knew prior to the conversation, because I was being very toxic towards my father, and I take accountability for that. And I have since taken accountability for that. Obviously, I haven't fully improved the connection to the point that I would like it to be, but it is improved from what it was. Me and my father do talk, and I do go over to his house sometimes to hang out with them, which is very nice, and we can just be like a normal family. Another thing that he did say, though, was something about my brothers, and just basically I was the key to healing my family, is what you told me.
I don't remember a lot of this. I told you.
I know you don't remember it. That's why I'm saying it to you.
Yeah. I remember glimpses of what I said, because I let the spirit kind of guide me, and in my spiritual journey and my faith, I've come across so many times, and I'll speak on this a little more, and just one of us remind, when I was in a shelter and stuff, a lot of these situations happen. I think I've told you about this, where my gift comes out when people need me most. I'm in a relationship with somebody. So continue forward. Sorry, but it's great to hear that you can be a little family, which is great to hear. So continue.
Yeah. So basically, the whole message of what Spirit was trying to tell me in that moment through Jason's voice was that I was the key to fixing everything in my family. And since then, I have taken charge to actually heal myself. Now, I don't know if people have been watching my videos or not. I don't really care. But if you have been watching them, you may see that I'm in a better mood. That's because I've healed a lot of my sadness.
I want to chime in really quick. That's really big of Kaycee, too. If you know from previous episodes back from a few months, her saying, I don't really care, she cared so much about her social media presence, and you did. You cared so much for so long, and that's really powerful, so I wanted to point that out, but continue talking.
Yeah, so basically I've really moved forward, and I really learned to stop caring, which is something that I struggled with a lot in my life, and let's just say I'm really to the point where I don't care. I mean, there's still parts of me that do care at some point, but I've rewired my mindset enough to notice when it's a doubt and when to shut it down. So I don't really have very many doubts, and if they show up, it's just for like a few seconds, and then I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm doing very well mentally. Physically, I go for a walk every morning. If you've been following my Instagram, my TikTok, I work out every day. I've been eating well. I've just been genuinely fixing myself. And that was the whole point of me taking this small break, because I was pouring so much of myself into the internet without actually pouring into myself, if that makes any sense. And I was saying I was, but since I've been implementing more things day in and day out, I realized that I genuinely wasn't really doing anything, and I was lying to myself. But now I'm not lying to myself because I'm actually doing it.
Damn right, Kaycee. All right. I definitely am glad to hear that, and I'm glad it had such a big impact, especially like where it was like. What's really powerful about this, and I don't know if you knew this or I said this to you when we had our talk, but usually in moments when I use spirit to talk to me and talk through spirit and do those things and give advice, usually the person in my life that I do that disappears. And I'm not kidding you, and it gives me goosebumps thinking about it now, because you're not the first person to do this. So, oh my God, I got so much goosebumps thinking about the past experience I've had with this, because every time I do that does deep conversations and say, like, let me do spirit, they go off and they disappear out of my life for like months or forever. Usually, to be honest, as sad as it is, most people, just about everybody, disappears forever, and I never hear from them again. And they take the seed and they either use it or don't. I never know what's going to happen in life. And I think that, like, I mean, I'll wait for you to finish your piece, and then I'll speak more on that, kind of, because I don't want to elaborate too much, because I'm sure you have more things to say about your job. Because I think you were, if I was remember correctly, you weren't full-time yet, but you were hoping to get full-time, correct?
I was basically just working to get money. I didn't really care if I had full-time, to be honest. I needed to make money so that I could pay off what I needed to pay off and move myself forward to go into whatever I wanted to go into. Because I did go to school. I went to university. I went to college for a semester. So I have debts that I have to pay, which is why I'm working to pay them off before I decide to do anything else, which I feel like is a very smart decision.
No, you should have been in countless debt, obviously. Like, what?
I don't know. So, yeah, I was basically just working to make money, which is what the majority of people are doing nowadays.
With this economy?
Nowadays? What?
Shit.
No.
This economy, shit. It's economy is rough. We all know that. We're all struggling, right? Everyone struggles with the most, except for the rich people. But we're not those people. And thanks to you followers, we are going to be, though. Am I right? Yeah, no, that's really great to hear, and that's something a big missing puzzle piece of mine of your life that I didn't know. And the workout, I've seen your post there and the working out, and I used to work out so much in the shelter and stuff like that. I think back to that, that was one of the happiest times I've ever been in my life. And I know that's sad to say. There's so many memories I could speak on, but that was like it was so much peace in the storm when I worked out every day. Now I got to pay for the gym, but right now financially I'm just tight. So
Yeah.
I've been saying so many times I'm going to buy the gym, I'm going to pay for them, I'm going to change the gym. But I'll say it on podcast, say it in front of you. On the second, I will pay for a gym. Okay, I will get the gym figured out. I will do it by making excuses. Okay. Okay. You're going to see my gym post just like you. You're going to see some gym posts.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna give my yeah. Okay.
Okay, Jason.
How do you do that sound? That not Lady Gaga, like Rihanna or something like or whatever, you know, and she's like,
Okay. I can't do it either.
Okay. I can't do it, but you know that's what I picture. With those hoop earrings, you know, got going on there. Right on ghetto ass, girl. But I'm trying to think of other things that I would ask you, because I haven't listened to the previous episodes in a while. I did go back once actually, and I was like, oh my goodness, and that's when I hit you up a bunch, and you disappeared, like I said. So I really didn't know if I was gonna get this opportunity to do this again, because I thought I was like, you were so passionate about the dream before, and I was like, but like I don't realize the potential and the gift that I have until at this very moment talking to you, because I didn't realize that not only you, but many other people in my life I've affected so deeply for them to just like go off on their own. And it was at that moment. Like, I don't think the viewers understand that. Like, our talks and stuff are nice and learning, and we're growing and stuff. But like, I could not do that talk with her like on a podcast. You know what I mean? I could never do that type of gift thing. It's a one-on-one thing. I had to do it like privately, personally. And you know what? I have to speak on the same thing happened with my ex-relationship, as you know. No names or anything, but same thing happened with them. And same thing happened with a bunch of people where I had
actually, you told me that.
Yeah.
Wait, that's so weird.
Isn't that crazy? Like, people might think it's mumbo jumbo. And I've told you this. Like, people in the viewers are going to be like, oh, she was sensitive in the moment. She was vulnerable. And he, like, said a few nice words. And she, like,
no, but, like, it's genuine. Like,
it's so real. And I never actually realized what I have here. And I have to, like, really look into that. I don't even know what to say, honestly, at this point. I'm kind of speechless for the once in my life. What? Like, what? I'm thinking back to all those times.
I think it's a beautiful gift to have, for the Holy Spirit to speak through somebody, to give someone advice and guidance.
And I want to speak on that, Holy Spirit, this. People think that, like, I'm living proof. I'm living proof that I'm a huge sinner. I sin so much. I have so much sins. I curse. I smoke. Lust. Like, I have it all right? I struggle with it all. I'm horrible. I'm a monster with it all. But to be able to do that still and still live that life of sin shows that there is, within all of us, we can attach ourselves to God, even temporarily, when the time is right. Like, if you the viewer, I encourage you, the viewer, and everyone listening, and including, you know, you, Kaycee, but like, I did a thing today, actually, and I brought tears in my eyes because I actually have the book on my Bible right here, actually. So I asked God, I'm doing a thing, and I don't know, do you have a Bible with you, Kaycee?
I don't have one with me because I use a Bible on my phone, but...
Okay. Well, it's better to have one for this activity that I do, but God willing, you'll get one. But I asked God today, and I said, every day I want you to open my hands to a page, right? Because I thought, so I've had a very deep religious outlook on my life in the last few months. And I don't mean to take over your time, but I think this is very valuable information for everybody.
It's okay. Like, I'm finished talking about my life. That's all that happened.
Which is huge news. I don't want to...
Yeah!
Exactly. Yoo-hoo! No family trauma no more.
Healing. Let's go.
Healing, yeah. So, when I talk about the Bible, I mean, people are going to say, religious, like crazy cooks, Bible thumpers or whatever. But I want to speak on the people that like are thinking about it or have thought about it or whatever. When it comes to the Bible, if you look at the text from everyone in Scripture, the stories, and I just picked up the book today. I haven't picked it up in months, okay? I'm not saying that I'm reading it every day thoroughly. I'm this crazy religious person or like I'm preaching out in the streets. But I want to say something. So if you look at the people in the Bible was written about those people. Those people didn't have a Bible, and yet they still followed God and still got to God, right? So that defeats the argument when people say the book is the only way to heaven. That doesn't make sense because when you look at the people the stories are about, they didn't have a Bible. The Bible was made by their stories. They didn't have a Bible, but they were still saved. So why are you telling me that this is the only way? So what I thought, what the Bible is guidance towards him through other stories. But you don't have to. See, I took it so literal when I was young, growing up with the Bible all my life, growing up with a very religious father, which my dad never said he was religious because he never followed church because church is very political, and I'll get into that about my perspective about the church that I go to recently, an African church, Winners Chapel. I can get more deep into that. I'm not trying to smear them or anything, smear campaign, or say they're bad people by no means, but I disagree with a lot of their theology, and I'll get into that soon. What recently happened actually ensued for me to maybe walk away from it, and I'm really debating on it. Because they're not getting the right image of what I believe or perceive what God is. And I know it's all about perception, but
that's again, okay though. Like not every church is for you.
Oh, exactly. And I'll speak more on that in a second. But when it comes to, I asked God today, and I said, God, help me. So I laid down on my knees, and I told the Lord that I would talk about this in the podcast. And I went on my knees, and I opened the book to a page, and the page was right here. It's bookmarked. It's in Genesis. It was like one of the first pages it opened up to. It was, I took my hands and I just closed my eyes and I just took my hands and I picked up the book and I just opened it to a page. And it was a story about, and I don't know a lot of the story now because I just read it today, but the premise was that there was, in Genesis, it was back in the Old Testament, but something was occurring with between two people or something, or a couple, I think it was, or something. And basically it was like God was saying like, wait for my timing is the basic premise of the story, right? And I had to ChatGPT it honestly because I didn't fully get the text, right? I had to tell them exactly the pages and the chapters, and I looked over at what it meant and it translated for me, and then I was like, I have some learning disabilities, so it's tough sometimes, obviously, to get to the Bible. So I had to rely on technology a little bit for the good purpose. And it kind of said, like, wait for God's timing. Because that's all, because I'm waiting for my job, right? I'm waiting for a lot of things. And it talks about how they got a lot of land. God said to these people that in due time, you'll get a lot of land, you'll get a lot of good things, but, like, wait for me, basically, right?
Hold on, I don't want to cut you off, but didn't you, like, the last time we spoke, didn't you, like, say that God gave you a vision that you were going to get land? Or am I losing my mind?
It's possible. I don't remember this though, so which is crazy if it did, but I don't know what's going to happen yet. Like I don't, it's hard to think about, but like my father does own land, and it could be a plot twist where he gives it to me, when he passed away, because my father had a heart attack also. Well,
I'm sorry.
Not a heart attack. Sorry. It was he had what was wrong with him again? Oh my God! How come I not? Oh, he had an infection within his gallbladder that was spreading. It was very serious, and the family was trying to. And I was very deeply spiritual in that moment. Well, not really, actually. That's a lie. I wasn't spiritual. I was trying to avoid it, actually. I was trying to. So the story of Jonah is what I was doing basically in the story of Jonah, where I very much tried to flee from God. Yes. I divulged in drinking more. I did a lot more things. It's just not even going to church or whatever. Not because I didn't agree. It was the wrong reasons I didn't go to church, because I didn't want to hear about it. I didn't want to even think about it or whatever. And I was very in denial that I was losing my father, possibly, because everyone was. There was talks amongst family and coming to me and be like, "Are you coming down? Like, are we going to have to travel, bring you down?" And I'm not in a financial situation to do it. And he's still going to go for surgery, which we don't know how it's going to go, but he's doing better now. Thank God. Praise be God. But what I want to say is, like, we didn't know. He was sick for so long. He was getting better, worse, better, worse. And he was keep getting worse and worse, where he couldn't even move from his bed. So it was like, he was really serious, right? He's like 73, 74 years old. He's early 70s. My grandfather who raised me, adopted, as you know. So I look at him as my dad. He raised me. I love him so much. And I know his dream is for me to always follow God, and that was his pastime and the way he did. And I just realized, and I said to my brother one time, and I hope this is helpful to viewers, and I hope this is helpful for you, Kaycee, but there was a time when my brother said to me, he called me on the phone, and he said, listen, you got to do these things. Like, you got to stop. You can't drink. You can't smell, like, he's like, you got to get your life straightened out for God. If you want to follow God, you got to do it, right? You got to do it. You can't just say it and not do it. Because faith without works is dead. That's what the verse they use, right? But then I remember saying on the phone to him, I said, Brad, because I call him Brad, which is the Newfie term for brother. I said, Brad, listen, I know where you're coming from. And I grew up around that. I grew up with what you're saying for, like, forever. But you cannot tell me that because of my issues and my frustration and separation of me and my wife at the time, and because of everything happened, and I went into that shelter, and I used my gift amongst them, not just you, but youth that were at the shelter, and talked about God, and I go to a bar and I drink a drink, and and people are drunk talking about God, and every time a conversation comes up about God, I have the opportunity to speak about it, and I tell them, like, those opportunities, if I listened to you in that moment, and I followed God completely, didn't drink, did nothing, then I would not end up in that situation to be in the shelter to talk to those youth, to help them and guide them in the right direction, or plant that seed.
That's true.
I would not be there. I wouldn't be. See, troubled people can make the best Christians, because we are in the troubled positions. People who follow God and very strictly religious, they don't hang out with people who do drugs. They don't hang out with people who are struggling. They're in an echo chamber, right? Respectfully, but it's true. They don't see the struggles. Like, when I went through a separation, because they believe married till death, you cannot divorce nothing, right? And that's how I grew up. And I struggle with that a lot, spiritually speaking. That's, but that's what their belief is, right? And when they found out that I was trying to follow God, and they saw what was happening with my life, they were baffled. They were like, we've never been through this. And my brother and my dad said they don't even know what they would do if they were in my situation and what I've been through. They said they would rather die than go through with what I went through. That's them, who's super faithful, strongest men that I grew up with. And they're like, I'd rather just roll over my grave if my wife did that, or if anyone did that to me, what I've been through in the last year. And it's not about like holding those things on, but it was before, but it's not now. It's a lot of healing that's happened since. But when they told me and talked to me about that, I just I remember telling my brother that, and his response was very powerful. Instead of arguing with me, he stopped and he was like, and I said, it's all about God's timing, and God knows my heart. And if God's going to, one day I have faith that I will stop drinking, I will stop smoking, I will stop it all. But in due time, when I help as many people as I can in those situations. And, they use the text, so with me you find salvation today, tomorrow may be too late, is the text. Very similar to that in the Bible. So it's saying, like, now you pick me. And I've never once strayed away from God in the context that I've always had faith that God's going to figure it out, no matter how strong, how hard it gets, right? And as you know, I've been through hardships, very hardships that people would not even imagine, fathom. And I'm sure there's many people who've been through worse or even less worse, but still it feels worse to them. And I think that, like, it is so powerful when I got the text that he sent me. Every day I'm going to, from now on, ask God to open the Bible to a page, and I'm going to figure out what it means. And this is what God's telling me. So God told me, wait for me, basically, is what he told me today. So today I am letting God take the reins, trusting God, and things will all work out. And that's what I'm doing today. So I got stress off my shoulders. Just gamed a bunch today, honestly. I just let my life go about and just letting God do his thing. And I'm going to see what that means today, and I'll give you an update. But, like, I'm in a position where I'm very confused, because from what I was raised to believe is that I am nothing Christian. I am not Christian. I'm acting Christian, but I'm not Christian. And I'm just like the rest of the people. But when I see how much I had a person that was trans, actually, right, from the shelter. They were trans. They had a lot of religious ridicule because of their transgenderism, a lot of things, right? Gender dysphoria, which they agreed with that term. I'm not being offensive to anybody.
Yes.
It's just they agreed with me that that's a real term. They also agreed with that. They didn't agree with it fully, but they said it was, it's real. You're born into the wrong body. That's the way your brain starts thinking. And I remember talking to them, and they were like, you are the only person in my entire life that I can actually talk about God with, that I feel safe and able to actually understand it. I may not believe it, but I can respect it. And I've never respected Christians in my entire life up until this point. So because it's the way I beat around the bush. And I know people say beat around the bush is not right. You got to be direct. You got to be straight out. You got to be like right to the point. But you're not going to get people. You're not going to get people that way.
No.
And my dad always says that you're trying to, because there's a verse that scares me to my core since I was young and hearing it. You cannot be a friend of the world and a friend of God.
I've heard that one a lot recently.
Yeah. When my dad said that to me young, he's like, you can't have a lot of friends, you can't do this. And I agree with him. I do agree with him with that context. But where the dangerous context is if you listen to what they're saying and you say, like, you can't be a friend of them, you can't be a friend of the world, and you just, like, basically, like, you either seclude yourself, right? Which in theory is great, but the problem is the flesh, right? The flesh and the Holy Spirit. So the flesh is our human body, and lust and gluttony, and, those are all flesh. Sin is flesh. But the Spirit, which is a separate entity, a separate thing that is within us, that we're made of flesh and the Spirit. And for me, it's just like I'm starting to lose myself in my speaking. I'm gonna be honest, I'm surprised. I don't know why, but I'm definitely going on a direction with my speech that I'm very shocked to. And I'm not much of a preacher. I'm not much of a preacher at all. I mean, I have so much faith, like the struggles that you go through, you the viewer, and you, Kaycee, struggle, things that you never would tell anybody. We all have them as humans, and I'm sure they're on your mind. Things that you do or things that you say that you'll never let anyone know, not even me, your best friend or whatever, right, or your family. We all have those things. It's very normal. And we're like, no, but everyone would look at us differently and stuff. But, like, Jesus would not look at you differently, because if I can touch someone's life like your own, and you're a visual representation of that, and you're telling people this happened, I am sitting here telling everyone that I am, like, so sinful. I am not in any way like this person that's claiming to, like, not live sinful life. I still drink, I'm still addicted to nicotine. God willing, I'll fix that one day, when the right thing happens. But I just hope that I can give hope and faith, because my dad had a dream. My pastor from the church, because I'm going to go back to that now and connect the dots. I had a discussion about scripture, and my pastor believes, and it's a very common conception in Christianity and African culture, is that the scripture says to prosper, right? He wants us to prosper. God wants us to prosper. That's his goal for us. He would love for that to happen, as prosperous, right? And with our faith and stuff. So, two stories I'll say. I'll go back to the shelter sec too, because something came up about my testimony and what I'll speak on. But he said for us to prosper, and African culture, not all, I'm not speaking for all or generalizing, but it's a common practice that riches mean prosperous. So being wealthy, right? So here they are saying, God will give me wealth. God's going to give me wealth. They even preach it in the church there. God's going to give us wealth. God's going to give us wealth, right? And if you look at the 12 apostles, my dad pointed this out to me, actually. I had a conversation with him. But he told me a dream the next day after we had a conversation. Me and the pastor, before I even went to church, I was like, I want to meet you in person. I want to know what you're about. So we started talking and stuff. He bought me Tim's. As pastors do, they buy you things, or they do things to get you in there. That wasn't gonna hook me. I enjoyed the free rap, though. I was suffering at this point. I was hungry. So I was in that shelter with my son at that point. So I remember talking to him, and we sat down at Tim's, and we talked out loud about Scripture and God, and people were all around us, and it was just whatever. And I was a little nervous at this point because I'm not really outspoken and stuff. And we had the conversation, and we argued a bit about things and stuff. And then that next day, I talked to my dad, and my dad was like, I had a dream that I was speaking to a pastor, and they rejected what I was saying. And I was like,
what the heck?
Yeah. And I was like, Dad, let me tell you what happened. And for him to have that dream, even though he doesn't believe, seeing my life and the way I'm living, that I'm Christian, for him to have that dream and tell me about that dream, he has to realize that there is something correlation there between the seed that he planted inside me and the faith that I have. Because the thing is about Jesus, I mean, people take the context where Jesus flipped tables in the monastery. If you look at he was, but that doesn't mean he was angry. People take it so out of context. Like, I've seen scriptures about people like trying to take things in their own hands. People trying to take things in their own hands, or when it comes to politics or something, especially, where they're like, we need to revolt against them and stuff.
Hey friends, me editing, by the way, enjoy this random picture that I have up for you if you're watching this on YouTube. But anyways, it literally cut off because I didn't have enough storage on my iPad, so enjoy this random flip of discussion. It gets a little random beyond this point. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys, but that is okay. I think it's okay to be a little chaotic sometimes, so I allowed it because one, we're off script, and two, it's been literally 3 to 4 months since we've done this, and I feel like we deserve this a little. So enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Very deeply within addiction. Your face, I cannot take it seriously. As of saying that, you look like a mugshot. You literally had the most straightest face ever, and you were just like,
I just realized my mic wasn't on.
Are you serious?
I just turned it. No, like,
you look like
it was
an idiot with no mic. You're like, this is what you look like. Like, nobody can hear you, what you're saying.
Well, I'm sure they could probably still hear me because my voice has a presence now. You know what I mean?
Are you okay? Are you okay? Kaycee, I'm going to have to take you to English class. Remember we talked about this? About you going to English class? Back in the day?
Why would I need to go to English class because I said presents?
I failed English class. I have to go back next month.
Dude!
That got you off guard, didn't it?
Dude!
A running joke between me and my friends is like, never be surprised with what's going to come out of my mouth.
I'm never surprised.
No, what? I hate to remind you, but the first time we met, I am just so out of pocket. You're used to it now, but
the first time we met, I was actually like,
please don't. Oh my god,
well,
you're making me cringe.
Well, no, I wasn't like that. I was like, hold on, someone.
No, you should have blocked me. You should have blocked me. You should have blocked me.
I was like, hang on, someone who's out of pocket, who has the same values as I do.
No, okay, so let me give the synopsis of how we first met. Let's break it down, because, you know what, let's recap, because it's really funny. So, Kaycee calls me up. Kaycee, keep a straight face, Kaycee. So Kaycee calls me up or hits me up on TikTok first, and like I see that we're similar content. You know, we go over our trauma a little bit, our life that we're going through, and she's like, "Let's start a podcast." So, but first, before the podcast even happened, she wanted to get a feel of me. So I was like, "You got Snap," and I added Snap. And anyway, we get Snap, me and Kaycee, and we start talking a bunch or whatever. I do this thing where I try to fill the blanks in awkward silence, right? So I said the most out of pocket shit. But do you remember what I said to you?
Some of it.
Yeah. So I said the most out of pocket shit because she made that face, and I was like, panicking. What do I say to get out of this? Oh yeah, you should. I mean, you're young. Sell your feet pics online. You make a lot of money. And I was like, and then I stopped myself, and I was like, and your exact words were like, I think I should go now, Jason. I think
Actually.
And then you hung up, and I was like, I'm never fucking hearing from her again. And then you hit me up later, and I was like, this girl's crazier than I am. Oh my god. I don't even know why I said that. I sound like the biggest creep ever. It was just so out of I didn't know what came over me. I was just like, I think it was about getting a job or money. You were talking about getting a job and getting your life situated at that point. And
yeah, I was like, I'm about to start a new job.
Yeah, and I was like, well, that don't work out. Sell your feet like all the young ones. Make some money. And I was like, I think I should go, Jason.
I think that's actually my time to go to the door and leave. If that's okay.
That's what you said. You're like, if that's okay. And I was like, and I didn't even know how to respond to that. I don't even know how to say yes because you're asking for permission. Because at that point, you were mental health was you cared about what other people think a lot. So
my mental health was so bad when we first met.
Yeah. And you were like, hence giving me a second chance, which is crazy. I don't know. You were nuts for that. But it turned out good, thank God. You realized that I'm not a whack job. But honest to God, if we could listen, one day when our podcast is big, we're recreating that scene. We're gonna have you on the phone, and we're doing a skit Saturday Night Live, where we're basically you're gonna dress up in a wig if you have to, and then I'm gonna be myself, and just we're gonna do a whole reenactment of the first time we met. That'd be the funniest shit ever. That would be so funny. It'd be scripted, but it'd be funny.
Why do you think I'll need a wig?
Well, just in case you change your hair up. You might change your style or something, so you need to look the part of your 21-year-old self.
I'm not cutting my hair, Jason.
I'm not saying you're cutting your hair. I'm saying you might have it dyed. You might have it
Probably not. I debated on highlighting my hair today because I was like, ooh, summer's coming.
We can definitely do this more sooner than we think, though. It's not. Our barriers are only in our heads. You know that.
That's true.
Yeah, we can do this, and we can do this. I've seen you doing more impulsive things than that. Let's be honest here. No comment.
Oh,
girl.
Whoa.
Whoa. Bringing out just hold my ear and just pull it out of your ear.
Wait a second.
Wait a second. What the hell you said? But genuinely, how cool would it be to have a first event where we just sit there and there's just a few people that come, and basically we encourage people to we talk a little on the mics, and we introduce us, and we're figuring it out. And we created this podcast because we're in a hard time, so you can learn about that more. We can break that down more if you have questions about it, but we are here because we want to help people, and that's what we were about. If there's anything that you want to take away from this, it would be so amazing to cool, and I
amazing to cool,
100% amazingly cool. Yeah, that's what. I'm done. We can't do this anymore. I'm done. Dropping you like flies. Get out of here.
I'm sorry, I'm rage baiting you so bad.
You're not rage baiting me. What are you talking about? You know how hard it is to rage bait me? But genuinely,
is that a challenge?
I can rage bait you a lot worse than you can rage bait me. I am like rage bait master. You know
Okay,
that, right?
keep going. I'm sorry. I keep.
Okay, listen here, eyebrows. All right. So anyway, let's go.
What about my eyebrows?
Oh, somebody rage baited already?
I just want to know. Because I just grew them back. Do they look good?
Because your eyebrows tell your whole story. I just want to give you a little thing. Viewers who are watching this video, go back to the video of me talking and watch her eyebrows. Her eyebrows do so... You know that commercial?
Stop telling people how to figure me out, Jason!
Hey, it's called figuring it out, isn't it? Like, we're trying to figure you out, girl. Like, what? Oh, your eyebrows... Your eyes, my God, they look scary there. My God. Go back 10 seconds. You watch your clip. Watch your clip. You gave me the most, like you were going to burn me alive with your own eyes. That's what I see. You thought you had, like, laser vision. But your eyebrows, man, when I'm talking and you're trying to listen, your eyebrows frow up like this. And you're like, and then when you're confused, you, like, look to the side and your eyebrows, like, go up, go down, go up, go down. Like, you just...
I don't even realize.
I know. Your facial expressions tell me everything. You know I can read you like a book.
See, I can't hide anything through my facial expressions. That's, like, my one flaw.
Yeah. Did you kill this man?
Yes.
No? All right, try it right now. Let's do an exercise. All right, did you kill the man, Kaycee?
No.
Do you associate with a group that goes into the woods and burns things?
No.
You know what? Dang it. You know what? That was good. That was good. You know what? She might have killed somebody, guys. She might have killed someone. It might come out 20 years from now. Please don't make that age badly. Can you imagine? Someone takes that clip and puts you as a meme. Just you're thinking, oh my God.
Imagine if she killed someone in 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years later, she's actually locked up. It's crazy. Kaycee broke.
I'm not psychotic, I promise. Do I change my voice sometimes? Yes. Would you think I'm psychotic for that? Maybe. But I don't think so.
I think you're just young going through it. And I never promise I'm not psychotic. I never promise nobody, all right? So you can think what you want about me, but let me tell you something. I might be psychotic, but people love my psychoticness, okay? People are addicted to it. I don't know why, but when I'm in my own natural habitat, like right now, I'm twirling my little feet like this. You know, you can see on the camera. And I'm eating freaking pierogies, so.
I wish you guys could have seen that.
You can explain what I'm doing if you'd like.
You just explained to them what you were doing. Why would I have to explain it again?
Okay, let me describe to the viewers in the way I would love to describe in Jason view. I am, you know, in the 90s where the girl's on the phone, she's like twirling the phone cord and she's like talking to her girlfriend and she's like twirling her feet. That's what I'm doing right now, eating pierogies. So I would like you to picture that. Don't picture me like a 90s girl. I hope you don't. That's a little scary. The face hair kind of gives it away, but now I'm picturing myself. That's what I'm going to do when we recreate the first scene when we met. I'm going to pretend I'm going to be twirling the cord on the phone and be like, yeah, Jason, so like I would like a podcast. And like I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that. You know, chewing gum and shit. And you gotta try to pretend to be me like really badly. Like that's the comic value of it. Like I'm gonna pretend to be you like super badly. I'm gonna be all girly girl and shit. Wait, how would you try to mock me right now? Try to act like me.
I can't try to act like you because I haven't talked to you in 3 months.
Come on, you don't. Do you not? What?
I do remember you. I'm just saying there could be aspects of you that changed.
That's fair. But like you haven't changed all too much. You're more happy and you bring good energy vibes. I'll give you that. Way more than before. Not way more. Okay, that's a little harsh. Way more. Just like emphasize.
That low key hurt my ego.
You had a big one at one point.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. sometimes I'm like so serious when I edit the episode. I will listen to it 5 to 10 times.
5 to 10 times, really?
Yes, to make sure that everything that we say is where it's supposed to be.
That's great. That's great. And I'm sure you have so many laughs with it, honestly.
Yes.
Apparently, there's a snowstorm coming again.
It's snowing outside right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, no, I would love for this podcast to be like 10 hours long. I ain't gonna lie about it. It's just
10
so
hours
fun.
long. Do you want to edit it if it's 10 hours long?
I did kind of shoot myself in the foot when I made my TikTok, didn't I? Which, what was your reaction when you watched that? Break that down for me and the viewers. When you watched that video,
I was basically like,
where were you? Like, give me like a picture here. Where were you sitting? Like, do you
Trying to
remember
think.
like where you were? Like, were you in public when you watched that? Because God help people listening to you laugh your ass off.
well, no, because you made it right after I made mine, right?
Yeah, see, I think so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
So I was already,
morning.
morning. So, I had posted one the night before, went to bed. Anyways, woke up. Jason was like, yo, I made a video. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see. And I click on it, and I'm laying in my bed, and I'm like,
Is that what you're doing? Are you good? Are you broken? I think I broke Kaycee.
Yes, I'm serious. That's how I reacted. And then when you said, she does most of the editing, though. I don't know. Maybe I should take some on, take the load off. And I was like, maybe.
I worded it wrong, though. I worded it so wrong. If you re-listen to it, I said it wrongly. You should listen to it. I said it so much worse. It made me look so bad. I said, maybe I should take the editing. Oh, I don't have time for that, basically, is what I said. Like,
Yeah.
I worded it in a way. Yeah. I worded it wrong. And I realized after, I was like, I hope Kaycee realized what I meant. Oh, my God. It's like, no, I don't got time for that. No, Kaycee has so much free time. She can do that shit. I don't need to do that. Work harder.
And I was sitting here like, I have so much free time, Jason. I have so much free time.
See, there's the crazy side of Kaycee. So you guys don't know this side, but privately, honestly, she's crazy. She calls me up and she's like, you will not believe what stinking Frederick said to me today. And she's just like,
nice save.
Oh, we could do a Halloween special. Oh, there's so many things we can do with our podcast.
Yes, there is.
Please, for the love of God, comment on hers and my videos what you want to see us do, and we will make it happen the best of our ability. Because genuinely, we always try to get fan interactions. Okay? We always try to... And honestly, genuinely, like, I think we should add a keyword, and the keyword is lemon. Comment lemon on our videos, and we'll know that you watched the videos, and we'll shout you out. I think that's the best way to get people going.
Interesting choice of fruit, but okay.
Okay, knowing me, that's a pretty safe word. Do you want me to go on the tangent of words? Because that's the first word. God knows what I will say after.
It's okay. You can...
I can have this one?
You can have this one.
Yep. Next episode. Comment feet pics.
Send me your feet pics.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we're back. That's the big thing. Guess who's back? Back again. Kaycee's back. Don't tell a friend.
Or do.
Your face just went so... Dude, you need to zoom in on that.
Or do.
So happy. Your face was so happy when I said don't tell a friend. Your face went to like, I'ma cut you. Dude, that was insane. If I go missing, it was Kaycee. I just want to let you guys know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Jason Chip.
And I'm Kaycee Timmons. And aren't you going to shout out your friend before we close?
Thank you for reminding me. I was talking there, and yeah, my friend Defender. He wanted to be shout out. He's on the Discord server. Comment on my video if you want to join that or whatever. Shout out to that. But like, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He said you're very beautiful. I just wanted to let you know that. He told me to tell you actually. So,
Okay.
Yep. So, I'll just let you know he said that about you, and I guess that's what he meant by call him out. I assume he wanted you to know that. I should give you his username too, obviously, of course.